Una, dos, otra vez. Un, dos, tres, y. Hi everyone. Welcome back to my podcast. This is gonna be episode number 2. We're gonna be discussing basically trauma or traumas if you have several. Yeah. Anyways, so to start off, I would really like to start with, okay, we hear everywhere, blah blah blah, trauma, but what really is trauma? So trauma basically is whatever thing you suffered in the past that is like basically stopping you from doing something or from seeing something a certain way or from experiencing something a certain way, whatever. It's basically like having a certain type of, not disorder, but it's not the same thing, okay? But like in a disorder, you have basically something that stops you from doing something a certain way. It's like, if we root it down to the core, it's like almost the same thing. Like, for example, me, I have ADHD, which basically gives me a harder time trying to focus or get things done. And for example, a trauma of mine did almost like it stopped me from perceiving myself a certain way. Okay, I'm talking a lot here. Anyways, so yeah, trauma is a thing you went through that now is stopping you or detaining you from X or Y or Z. So what it does is, I already explained it, but I would like to say here that the way it works is it puts you in these boxes where, if for example you have a trauma with, I don't know, like in my case, I always had a hard time with my dad, right? Trying to prove myself useful, but I never achieved it. So now that grew to be a trauma of, I don't think that I'm good enough sometimes. You know, I was going to say that's okay, but that it's not okay. So that thing that I went through is now translated into now in some things that I do, or in the ways that I sometimes see around me, right? It puts a veil on you. Just how I was talking in episode 1, humans are constructed, or the way humans see things are constructed by veils. Think about a daltonic person. They have like a filter on, right? It's like a filter. Well, the same thing applies when we talk about trauma, when we talk about emotions, when we talk about blah blah blah. I think experience throughout, like in general, puts a veil on humans, and that's the way they see things. So it's not like, yeah, I have this, like my veil and just one thing and that's it. No, it's like multiple layers of trauma, of experiences, of people, of emotions, of values, right? And we construct our veil along our lives. Everybody sees the world a different way. So there's no wrong or right way to see the world. It's just shaped by who we are, and who we are is shaped by what we have gone through, what we've lived. So back to what I was saying, trauma is an extra layer to that veil. In my experience, I've dealt with a lot of trauma. In fact, one of the ways that I've been dealing with it is not pushing people away. Also, that could be a response to trauma, pushing people away. But the way I've dealt with it is, well, first of all, you have to identify it, because you cannot work on something that you don't know you have to work on. So, for example, you have to be self-critical. not to a point where it leads you to being a perfectionist, because no one is a perfectionist. I'm going to talk about that later. But to to the healthy point, if you want to grow as a person, you have to know what you have to work on. So me, this past 3, 4, 5 months, I've been uncovering trauma or deep rooted beliefs in me that have been stopping me from growing. And Pipona. And basically what I've been trying to do is identifying those things that have been coming up unsolved and working through them. So the first step, I think the hardest one, is identifying it, recognizing it. Don't be ashamed of it once you see it, and just work with it. For example, okay, I wanted to talk, and it's a good time to bring this up, about how that transposes into relationships we have with friends, partners, family, and people in general. So, for example, a trauma that my ex gave me was I developed an anxious attachment style. If you don't know what that is, we have like two big attachment styles that people talk about nowadays, which are the anxious one and the avoidant one. So I developed an anxious attachment style because for me, space meant doubt, and I felt anxious in that doubt. I didn't know that it's not really because of my ex. It's just that my ex brought that up. But I had that why? Because of my trauma. Because of trauma that I had growing up. So there are things, there will be people, there will be situations where you're going to feel challenged and triggered, because everybody has trauma within them, rooted deep trauma you didn't even know you had. And there will be people, situations, whatever, that will challenge you into recognizing what you're going through. But I mean, it's easier said than done, of course. I mean, anyways, so an anxious person in these types of relations is gonna feel threatened by silence and threatened by space, by the constant need of proving themselves. And this goes to the self-worth part. Why? Because if you feel the constant need to prove yourself, to overgive, to overextend, it's because you feel that you are not good enough if you stop giving. But pause. You are good enough even if you need space, even if you may feel anxious, even if you feel doubt. So my little tip recommendation is, at least that's what worked for me. That's what I did. Aside, like, apart from going out for walks, going out to eat by myself, whatever, to try to feel that self-worthiness, like pour into you. I talked about this in episode 1. So if you want to go watch it, it's probably going to be on YouTube too. If not, I'm going to link the Spotify to that episode 1. Anyways, so, okay. So the self-worth part here is, you also may have one. A self-worth trauma. I don't know if that's the correct term for it, but that's how I categorized it. And what I mean by it is that people sometimes don't feel like they're good enough. And this translates into overgiving, overextending, doubting yourself all the time, not knowing if you're worth certain things, and constantly needing that perfection. So nobody's going to judge you harder than you judge yourself. And why should you be the one to be judging yourself all the time? It doesn't make any fucking sense. So, okay. There are certain things in life that you may never figure out. One of them is yourself. You will never, and listen to me, you you will never figure yourself out all the way. Sure, you can get close to it. Sure, you can know yourself better than the person next to you knows themselves. But we are ever changing, ever loving, ever everything. You will never stop changing. You will never stop growing. And because that's what we do. That's what we do. So do not push yourself deep within yourself. Let people get to know you. But most importantly, you have to get to know yourself. Know what triggers you. Heal. Confront those risky situations. Let go of people. Detach from certain situations. It's valid. It's valid. We should seek peace. We should seek well-being. And you cannot creep onto things that don't serve you. And what I'm talking about here is not only people. It also applies to situations, jobs, careers, trauma, belief systems. People, we need to start deconstructing ourselves. It's valid to just, oh my god, my head hurts, to just deconstruct ourselves and start building ourselves all together again. That's valid. I've done it like 3 or 4 times already. Yes, it's painful, but if it hurts, maybe it's because you're doing it wrong. I mean, bear with me. I think that we are not meant to chase nothing other than ourselves and what we want. It's valid to chase a dream. It's valid to chase a job that you want. It's valid to go chase your dog that just ran out of the door. It's not valid to chase people. It's okay to be sometimes a little, not narcissistic, but egocentric. It's okay. It's totally fine. Just not to the point where it's narcissism. You know what I'm getting here? So, yeah, people, don't restrict yourselves. Okay, anyways, I talk. So, okay, we hear all the time when others say, oh, I'm not ready for a relationship, or I'm not ready for this and that, blah, 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 blah. I don't know why we tend to be perfectionists all the time. Like, the right people will not judge you for not feeling enough, but it's not their job to make you feel enough. That's something you have to do. So you don't have to be ready all the time for everything. You don't have to have everything figured out. If you want something, then go get it. If you want to pursue a career as a singer, but you feel like, and that, I'm talking to myself here, by the way, but you feel like you don't have the tools, you feel like you don't have the experience, well, go chase it. I mean, what the fuck? If it works out, it works out. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. O sea, Spanglish. What I'm trying to say here is life never stops for you and will never stop for anybody. So just experience it. Leave it. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? So just, I don't know, go out there. Like, right now I had an experience with a guy. And we, I don't know if like each other is the right term, but let's say we do. We like each other, whatever. But he says he's not ready for a relationship. I respect that, of course. I mean, I'm not gonna push my way into it, because I don't do that. Like, if somebody wants to come after me, you're welcome. If you want to try things out, I'm down to try things out. But if you don't, you don't. And I don't, it's okay. Like, maybe I might get heartbroken. You know, maybe I had expectations. I talked about this last episode, by the way. But sometimes you cannot help yourself, and you start liking somebody. Maybe you misread, and then you get your heart broken. Boo-hoo. Shit happens. It's okay. Stand up, wipe up, and keep going. And I'm talking about this because today a person I was, I don't know, girl, interested in, posted a story. He doesn't even talk to me. I think this is so frustrating because we agreed that we were gonna get to know each other as friends, like in general. That's what he said. Because quote unquote, when he rushes things, it does not go well. So for me, that's an understanding, like a mutual understanding that we're gonna try things out, right? But well, I guess I'm stupid because he does not text me, he does not message me, he does not I don't know, whatever, girl. And you know what? Life is too short. So if he texts me, I'm gonna answer. If he doesn't, I'm not gonna chase him. I'm not gonna go after him because that's not something that I personally would do. I think of myself above chasing others. And this applies to partners. This applies to situationships, to friendships, to whatever. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I'm not gonna chase somebody that says that they're not ready for a relationship. That's okay. Because if you think that you are troubling with trauma, and that's why you cannot go into a relationship, maybe you're scared, maybe blah, 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 blah. That's totally okay. That's for you to figure out. So if somebody tells you, I'm not ready for a relationship, listen to them. They're not ready. Don't push it. But if they said, listen, I'm still healing from blah, 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 but I really want to try it out with you, that's a whole different story. Get in there. We get heartbroken all the time. We can get heartbroken from situationships, from people who don't even know us, from people who don't even make the effort. So I think life is too short to be cocky, to be afraid, to be deeply rooted within yourself and not coming out of yourself. As I said before, let people get to know you, let people experience you, let people know what it feels like to be loved by you, whether it be a partner, a situationship, a friendship, a family member, whatever. Another thing that I wanted to say is sometimes we tend to blame people for shit that happens. For example, I don't know, somebody, for example, to me, a friend I had, a very dear friend I had, she got with two of my situationships, and I was like, girl, what? You're supposed to be my friend. Why are you doing this behind my back? And then I confront you and you lie about it. But I'm going to tell you something. The shit people do talk more about themselves. So that's their issue. So don't take it personal. It's not because, it's you, so I'm going to fuck you up. No, it's because people act based on the level of consciousness that they have. So if somebody doesn't do X or Y, it's not because they're a bad person. It's because that's all they were able to do to their understanding. So don't hold a grudge on people. Forgive and forget, girl. Forgive and forget. So just see it as an act upon themselves. They're fucking themselves up, not you. If they want to rot their souls, let them theory. Maybe I'll talk about that in another episode. Anyways, let them theory. But don't take it upon yourself to go and do something about it. People are going to do shitty things all the time. Shitty people are going to do shitty things all the time. Everybody got a little shit on themselves. I got a little shit to me. You got a little shit to you. And that's fine. Everybody does. So don't take it up on them. So moving on. Another thing that I wanted to mention is talking about trauma. Many times we have trauma based on experiences we had growing up, and that's totally fine. It's totally normal. But what I wanted to say here is, don't blame others for how you feel. Okay? And don't blame others for how you react. We sometimes hear people say, oh my God, I cannot believe you said that, you did that, blah, blah, blah. And we go, yeah, but you made me do it because you did blah, blah, blah. No, girl, that is not how this works. We cannot blame others for how we act. Okay? Bear with me. It's your fault. It's your fault. Okay? And I'm going to explain this. Hold your horses. Hold your horses. So, if somebody acts a certain way, it's not your fault that they did that, but whatever you do, that responsibility is on you. So take responsibility for your own actions, for your own thoughts, for how you process things. Okay. Let's put this way of thinking like as a linear thing. X person does Y, and you, what are you gonna do about it? That thing you do, how you feel, and what you do about how you feel is your responsibility. So don't blame them. Okay? Me, for example, I don't resent anyone. I don't hold a grudge against anyone. I know that whatever they did, yes, it was shitty, but it talks more about them. It says less about me. So let them do it. But whatever I do corresponding to that situation is my responsibility. If I feel sad, what am I gonna do about it? Not what are they gonna do about it? Oh, maybe if they apologize, if they blah, blah, blah. No, girl. You don't need apologies. You don't need nothing to make you feel better. You feel sad, what are you gonna do about it? You feel angry, what are you gonna do about it? So stop blaming others for how you feel. Okay? And also stop blaming others for how you don't feel. Oh, this person doesn't make me feel loved. This person doesn't make me feel wanted. Doesn't give me attention. What are you going to do about it? Give yourself more attention. Give yourself more love. Give yourself more blah, 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 blah. So we need to stop this. Let's put a name on it. Let's call it the dependent think waveform, whatever. So get out of that. Depend on yourself. Don't blame others for how you feel. And if you have shit you have to heal, then go do it, girl. Go heal, girl. Go heal, girl. I don't know. Go do exercise. Go do that hobby that you had. And yeah. I think, how long are we in? We're 23 minutes in. Okay. Let's close it at 30 minutes just because I want to. Okay, last thing I want to talk about is, I'm going to talk about the next episode. Episode 3, we're going to talk about toxic relationships, codependent relationships. I don't know, girl. But yeah, we're going to talk about that in the next episode. So if you want to hear me go and ramble about things that I have experienced, because everything I'm sharing here are things that I experienced myself. That's why I know about it. And I pride myself in actually being experienced for my young 20 years of life. But yeah, take everything with a grain of salt. Don't go out here and expect somebody to solve your life. Everybody has a different life. Everybody has a different veil. Everybody has a different experience. So yeah. And if you want to chat, you can message me. You're more than welcome to. Anyways, peace out.